in the worst conditions ever. Will fall, the camera will fall over and over. Got to put some stones here and there, preventing the storm. It's not a storm, just something. I put some stones here on the phone, in the front of the phone, not so heavy, cellular heavy stones. As here we go. Here we are with my terrible boys, the terrible boys. Boys from hell. My doggies. But anyway, it's too windy. I'm just going to keep reading usual Russia Today news. Pentagon voices support for Russia's sovereignty. Yeah, look, things are changing. America, there will be a huge crisis in America in the end of this year because of the debt crisis. That's what Michael Hudson was talking about. Michael Hudson was talking about the debt. The debt is raising because of interest rates, something. September 13, 2024, Home World News. Pentagon voices support for Russia's sovereignty. There's a video. The US will defend Russia from Russia. A senior general has declared. What? The Pentagon. Pat Ryder speaks during a briefing at the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, September 3rd, 2024. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder has declared that the US intends to defend Russia's sovereignty from Russia itself was not a mistake. What the hell is this? That US intends to defend Russia's sovereignty from Russia itself in a slip of the tongue that went unnoticed by the American press. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday, Ryder told reporters that, quote, "What we are focused on it's on enabling Russia to defend its sovereignty and deter future Russian aggression." Ryder did not immediately correct himself, instead going on to say that, quote, "Armor, artillery and ammunition will help achieve this goal." No reporters present in the briefing corrected Ryder neither. The general is not the first American official to mix up the belligerents involved in the Ukraine conflict. At a speech in Washington earlier this summer, US President Joe Biden introduced Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky as President Putin, whom described it as someone, quote, "who has much courage as he has determination." Biden, who is 81 years old and often appears visibly confused at press conferences and public events, has also mixed up Ukraine with Iraq, Gaza, and Russia. His press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, has also referred to the People's Republic of Russia as a state that does not exist. Ryder straightened out his apparent confusion later in his briefing, declaring that Washington is very much confused on ensuring that Ukraine has what it needs to be able to preserve its sovereignty and take back occupied territory. For more than a year, however, American military officials have expressed doubt that Ukraine will be able to retake its lost land by military force. With four of its former regions, Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia, along with Crimea, incorporated into the Russian Federation, Ukraine must accept the reality of its territorial losses before peace talks can begin, Moscow maintained. And that's it. You know, I will recognize I get really boring and really not really boring, but this is all about always is about war. It's about well, Russia is all about war actually. Look, I'm going to read a new one from Brazil. September 13. It was kinda 10 minutes ago. September 13, Home World News. Brazil seizes Musk money. A federal judge has withdrawn $3.3 million from bank accounts belonging to X and Starlink to enforce a fine. We have a file photo of Elon Musk. The Brazilian Supreme Court has unblocked the bank accounts of X. Unblock the bank accounts of X and Starlink only to withdraw $3.3 million from them in order to enforce a fine levied against Elon Musk's social media platform. Judge Alexandre de Moraes banned X operations in Brazil at the end of August. He also froze Starlink's assets, calling it a part of a, quote, de facto economic group with X. This is all bullshit, you know? How is it possible to do that, you know? Yeah. You know, I'm not affiliated, but I'm a regular follower of PCO from Brazil, the Heavy Workers Party, which is funny because there's a difference between workers and heavy workers. In Portuguese you say operário. Operário is heavy worker. Anyway, I always say that, and it's true. This whole thing, I will read it again. The Brazilian Supreme Court has unblocked the bank accounts of X. Tommy, aqui, câmera, Tommy, quieto, Tommy, quieto. I will read again. The Brazilian Supreme Court has unblocked the bank accounts of X and Starlink only to withdraw. No, I will read the next one. Judge Alexandre de Moraes banned X operations in Brazil at the end of August. He also froze Starlink's assets, calling it part of a, quote, de facto economic group with X. That's unbelievable, you know, if you have two companies. If you have two companies, some judge will say, no, I read the papers, I know that this is the same owner, understand? Crazy, absolutely crazy. Quote, because was the everybody knows Elon Musk companies, but this is not serious, understand? I mean, this is not legal. This is not. There's no relationship between X and Starlink. What's the relationship? Zero relationship, understand? Because why? Starlink is just about the internet. You can do whatever you want on internet. You can even, let's say in Brazil. If you are in Brazil, it has zero meaning. It has zero meaning. If you are in Brazil and you want to access internet by Starlink, you will not be able to access X. That's a fact. There's zero sense. There's no sense about this stupid measure. Quote, with the full payment of the amount due, de Moraes considered that there was no longer any need to keep the bank accounts blocked and order the immediate unblocking of the bank accounts, financial assets, motor vehicles, and real estate of the aforementioned companies. The court said in a statement on Friday, according to the court, a total of 18.35 million Brazilian reals, around $3.3 million was withdrawn from both accounts, of which 11 million was from Starlink and the rest from X. The companies were fined for not removing content after an order from the court in ongoing investigations, in addition to having removed its legal representatives from Brazil, the court said. And there's a related article. Musk threatens to go after Brazilian government assets. That's interesting. I'm going to read that. Musk has not yet commented on the seizure of the funds. Earlier this month, he said the blocking of Starlink's accounts was absolutely illegal. I'm agree with Musk, since it was a separate company with different shareholders. Yeah, that's it. Different companies. The tech magnate, yeah, also threatened to go after Brazilian state assets in retaliation. Quote, unless the Brazilian government returns the illegal seized property of X and SpaceX, we will seek reciprocal seizure of government assets too. Musk wrote at the time, hope Lula enjoys flying commercial, he added, referring to Brazilian President Ignacio Lula da Silva. De Moraes has also threatened a fine of 50,000 Brazilian reals, 8,874 per day, against anyone who uses a virtual private network VPN to access X. There have been no reports of the fine being enforced, however, and multiple prominent Brazilians, including several political parties, have continued posting on the platform. The dispute between the US entrepreneur and Brazilian authorities began in April, when De Moraes ordered X to delete the accounts of several supporters of former President Jair Bolsonaro, accusing them of spreading disinformation about himself and the court. Musk refused it, saying this will violate Brazilian laws. X Global Government Affairs team has said that G. Moraes, had threatened the Brazilian legal representative with imprisonment and froze all of her bank accounts even after she resigned. The judge then cited lack of counsel as the reason for the fine and the ban on the platform's operations. Quote, unlike other social media and technology platforms, we will not comply in secret with illegal orders, X said in a statement at the time. Well, definitely. So it's all about political prosecution against Bolsonaro. Well, I'm not a Bolsonaro supporter, you know? I'm not. Toby! I'm going to read the other one. But this is too old. It's too old. September 3rd. Forget about it. Yeah. So it's time for Cgtn. Just Cgtn now. Cgtn right till the end. There's an interesting news about something I never thought about in my life. China, September 13, 2024. China's top legislature approves gradual increase in retirement age. September 13, 2024. A retired man at the center chats with his guests at home. Shunshu is China's Jiangsu province, September 7. Chinese lawmakers on Friday voted to adopt a decision on gradually raising the statutory retirement age in the country, marking the first adjustment in the arrangement since the 1950s. According to the decision adopted at the 11th session of the Standing Committee of the 14th National People's Congress, the statutory retirement age for men will be gradually raised from 60 to 63 in the course of 15 years, starting in 2025, while that for women, cadres and women blue-collar workers will be raised from 55 to 58. Is not too much, you know. I guess blue-collar workers is like teachers, I guess. It's not that bad at all, respectively. Starting 2023, the minimum year of basic pension contributions required to receive monthly benefits will be gradually raised from 15 years to 20 years at the pace of an increase of 6 months annually. Meanwhile, people will be allowed to voluntarily retire by no more than 3 years in advance after reaching the minimum year of pension contributions, but it is not allowed to retire earlier than the previous statutory age. The new policies will also allow individuals to postpone retirement to an even later date if they reach an agreement with employers. Such a delay should be no more than 3 years. The decision also specifies measures to refine the old age insurance incentive mechanism, implement the employment force strategy, ensure the basic rights and interests of workers who have passed their statutory retirement age, and improve elderly care and childcare services. The document includes specific provisions on welfare for unemployed old age workers and an earlier retirement for those in special professions. The 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, CPC, and the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee made clear agreements on gradually raising the statutory retirement age in the country. The plan passed by lawmakers on Friday was formulated on the basis of a comprehensive assessment of the average life expectancy, health conditions, the population structure, the level of education and workforce supply in China. Sources, Xinhua News Agency, definitely. So I guess it's right to do, you know. I'm not sure what my Trotskyist party back in Brazil will comment about something like this, but I guess it's normal. People in China, they are living up to 80 years something. Imagine you have 58 and you will live more 20 years. You will live 20 years doing nothing. Even like teachers, you know, if you are a teacher, you can keep you definitely should keep working. Anyway, not heavily working, you know, just working 4 hours a day, and that will be fine. Opinion, September 13, 2024. Raising the statutory retirement age. Win-win reform to respond to population aging in China. Chang Bembo. We have a photograph. Senior residents exercise with the help of a staff member at the Social Welfare Center in Hanzhou County, Changde City, Central China's Hunan Province. Editor's note. Chang Bembo, a special commentator for Cgtn, is a research fellow at the Chinese Academy of Macroeconomic Research. The article reflects the author's opinion and not necessarily those of Cgtn. On September 13, the Standing Committee of the 14th National People's Congress discussed and passed a proposal on raising the statutory retirement age in China. The country's current statutory retirement age is 60 for men and 55 for women, cadres, and 50 for women blue-collar workers. This standard was set in 1951 and has remained unchanged till now. I guess it's the contrary. I guess these blue workers is heavy workers, you know. That's nice. I will research about it. However, it has been discussed widely in recent years whether the retirement age should be adjusted since tremendous changes have taken place in China. The proposal on raising the statutory retirement age is a reform measure taken by the Chinese government to actively respond to population aging. And it showcases the efforts to promote win-win outcomes facing the country's new situation of economic and social development. Raising the statutory retirement age is in line with increasing life expectancy. With increasing life expectancy in China, the rapid improvement of health levels is an important feature of China's social progress. In 1951, the life expectancy of Chinese population was less than 45 years old, but it was over 78 years old in 2023, about 2 years higher than the average of upper middle income countries. The healthy life expectancy is also close to 70 years old in China, which means many workers who have reached retirement age still possess strong working abilities. By raising the statutory retirement age, it is expected to meet the needs of capable and willing workers to extend their careers, as well as meet the demands of more employers and enterprises for experienced and skilled labor. Raising the statutory retirement age is in line with the rapid improvement in educational levels in China. The average years of schooling for the population aged 15 and above rose 5.3 years in 1982 to 9.9 years in 2020. At present, the gross enrollment rate of higher education in China exceeds 60%, and about half of the newly added labor force has received higher education, which means the age at which workers start working continues to have been pushed back accordingly. By raising the statutory retirement age, it is expected to provide well-educated workers with more time and opportunities to apply what they have learned and realize their personal value. At the same time, it can also help to effectively utilize human resources and transition China's demographic dividend to a talent dividend. And we have a photograph. Students attend a job fair at Tsinghua University in Beijing, capital of China, March 15, 2024. Raising the statutory retirement age is in line with China's new challenge to actively respond to population aging. Population aging is a global trend, and China is also facing the same challenge. In 2023, the proportion of the population aged 60 and above in China was about 51%, and it is expected to exceed 30% by 2035. At the same time, the proportion of the population aged 16 to 59 is expected to decrease from 61% in 2023 to around 57% in 2035. Raising retirement age is a common response measure adopted by aging countries in the world. The actual average retirement age in countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in 2019 was approximately 65.4 for men and 63.7 for women. The average retirement age in the EU countries in 2023 is around 64.3 years for men and 63.5 years for women. By raising the statutory retirement age, it is expected to further expand the supply of the labor force, alleviate the pressure of population aging on Social Security, and further increase the income of workers and improve their quality of life before and after retirement as well. Retirement age adjustment is a systemic reform that involves multiple stakeholders. So it is essential to maximize the benefits for all parties involved by implementing supportive measures. One is to adhere to the principle of voluntary participation with appropriate flexibility, provide workers with more choices, and meet the diversified needs of different groups. The second is to actively develop the silver economy to create more jobs opportunities suitable for the elderly and strengthen skills training for elderly workers and improve their employment ability. The third is to further improve China's social security system, establishing incentive mechanisms for continuing work and continuous pension payment, and enable workers to obtain more benefits from the later retirement. That's it. If you want to contribute and have specific expertise, please contact us, Opinions Cgtn. Follow those opinions formally. Anyway, I never saw again Cgtn calling for opinions. I guess they hate my latest opinion. I sent an opinion, like an essay. I wrote an essay Well, I'm done with this. I'm done with this subject. That's it. I don't want to know more about it. There's another one from Cgtn, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. And when after this one, China, September 14, 2024. China unveils plans to boost high standard opening up of certification accreditation. A short news. Beijing Central Business District, China. China has unveiled an action plan to promote the opening up of certification and accreditation and further deepen the reform of the industry. The country's top market regulator said Friday. The action plan, implemented on August 28, defined the goals, tasks, and measures to achieve high standard opening up of certification and accreditation from 2024 to 2030. Pu Shun, deputy head of the state administration for market regulation, said at a press conference. The plan encourages companies to improve new technologies and the credibility and quality of products to win market trust, increase demand, and enhance competitiveness. China has established a comprehensive framework for international cooperation and mutual recognition, and has participated deeply in international conformity assessment activities, said Pu. As of the end of June this year, China had joined 21 international certification and accreditation organizations and signed 15 multilateral mutual recognition agreements and 128 bilateral cooperation arrangements for mutual recognition, official data shows. The sources Xinhua news agency. The very last one from Cgtn, but I love it. China, September 14, which I don't like it. It's too old. I don't know. It's too old. I am gonna end it up with Pepe Escobar, just like long time ago. Do you remember I was doing this? Long time ago I used to end it up with Pepe. But it's all Italian, Portuguese. I want something in English, please. Pepe Escobar, YouTube banned Larry Johnson's channel. I don't know who is it, but definitely YouTube is crazy. You know, this very channel, YouTube some time ago he blocked my channel just because I said something about Russia in the name of the video, I don't remember now. It's very cold now. In the headline, yeah, in the video, in the name of the video, I said something about Russia. That's it. I got banned from YouTube. YouTube banned Larry Johnson's channel. The cancel culture campaign is relentless. Yeah, the West is terrible. I'm going to keep studying Chinese to go to China and work till 70 years old. A few weeks ago, Meta banned The Cradle where I am the top columnist. Meta, The Cradle, Larry Johnson, in a reasonably free country, one should be pretend with charges before a punishment is enacted. Not so with Google. They are fascists in the purest sense of the word. I stand I stand accused of hate speech. Yeah, me too. Me too on Facebook. I'm a hater on Facebook. Because I'm full of Chilean wokies, stupid rats. Those stupid rats, you cannot say, oh, Chileans are rats. They will, that's it. Is that a hate speech? Well, maybe. I hate Chileans. So that's it. I'm going to China. Suckers, they are fascists in the pure sense of the word. I stand accused of hate speech. The cowards at YouTube refuse to identify the hateful content. So going forward, I will try to limit the use and links to YouTube. Remains to be seen if the people who interview me, such as Anya Kay and Stephen Garner, will be punished for allowing me to speak. I will continue to post at a countercurrent. Fortunately, that channel is back up by BitChute. I will strive to use BitChute exclusively and request that you subscribe to that channel. I had 10,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. C'est la vie. I wonder if Google can be sued as part of a class action lawsuit by accusing me and others of hate speech for the crime of simply stating objective truth. Does it? There's a strong neo-Nazi contingent in Ukraine. Do support Larry on BitChute. It's the first time I heard about BitChute. I'm going to put it on Chrome. BitChute. What is BitChute? Yeah, there's a site BitChute. It's like YouTube, yeah. Maybe BitChute is my future too. BitChute is my future too. That will be the headline. BitChute is our future too. But well, I'm cool by now. I know also YouTube, YouTube and Odyssey. As you can see here, Odyssey. But I have a lot of problems uploading videos to Odyssey. Odyssey is just too slow to upload anything. And now there's something about Baleares World G1 WGA something. I will read and then I will read first. I'm going to read the tweet. Absolutely spot on analysis. The horizon for a major NATO war on Russia is 2030. Western plutocracy will never give up. 2030 war to Russia. And there is something on Spanish. I'm going to translate in real time. The attacks with planes, with drones. No pilot planes against the airport in Murmansk, in Murmansk. There was an attack of drones in Murmansk from NATO, but I don't know where is this. USSR, but when was this? It was in 1941, I guess. Anyway, so I don't know what the hell they are talking about. So that's it. It's huge. It's just too big to read in Spanish. So 2030, war against Russia. So if you are a Russian beautiful woman, I'm single. I want to marry the beautiful woman. I thought there was black woman in Mexico, in Oaxaca, Guerrero state, but there's not. I was wrong about it. What a shame. This is it. Quote. And this of course significantly changes the very essence, the very nature of the conflict. It will mean that NATO countries, the United States and European countries, are at war with Russia. I guess he's talking about the long-range missile inside the Russian territory, deep inside Russian territory. And the very last one, Geopolitics Live at Telegram. The use of Western high-precision long-range weapons against Russia will mean direct participation of NATO countries in military operations in Ukraine, Putin. The Ukrainian army cannot strike with modern Western-made high-precision long-range systems, said President Vladimir Putin. That is only possible using intelligence from satellites, which Ukraine does not have, he said. Putin added that only NATO servicemen can enter fly missions into those systems. Quote, therefore it is not a question of allowing the Ukrainian regime to strike Russia with these weapons or not, the president said. It is a question of making a decision on whether NATO countries are directly participating in the military conflict or not. If this decision is made, it will mean nothing less than the direct participation of NATO countries, the United States, and European countries in the war in Ukraine. Putin stressed that will change the very nature of the conflict and will mean that NATO countries and US and Europe were fighting Russia. Quote, quote, and if this is so, then bearing in mind the changes is the very essence of the conflict, we will make appropriate decisions based on the threats that will be created for us. Terrible world. Well, Chile is a nice country for peace. Everybody is, but here it's very expensive. The energy bill is terrible. Maybe Brazil, yeah. Definitely Brazil is better. You know, Daniel Jadue is afraid of talk. He is in his home, but I'm going to keep listening his old podcast because he's afraid of talk.
La autoridad de Carabineros de Chile ¿Cómo se genera? Hay 21.000 seres humanos que podrían estar en la calle. El tema, por ejemplo, Daniel Jadue, de la delincuencia, de la droga, ¿juega algún rol para ti en estas 21.000 personas que hoy día están en esta situación tan desastrosa?
O sea,
¿Tiene alguna relación?
no, pues yo no veo relación. O sea, puede haber 1, 2, 10, 100 casos en donde aquí hay que separar dos cosas porque en realidad nosotros tenemos este tema. Hay gente que genuinamente está en situación de calle, ¿no? Porque no tiene cómo vivir de otra forma.
además me imagino que la mayoría de estas 21.000 personas necesita trabajar. ¿Cómo generáis todo eso? Además de un lugar donde vivir dignamente.
A ver, es que el derecho al trabajo no está consagrado en nuestro país. El trabajo no es un derecho, esa es una de las peleas que da la CUT, elevar a rango constitucional el trabajo, ¿no? De tal manera.
And that's it. So Daniel Jandue is not talking. It's free. It's being like a week in freedom. Don't want to talk because, for sure, this show used to do this podcast. In my opinion, this is the worst crime he commit. Talk, because of it's very strange. I'm not sure if we are at the war right now, because you cannot talk. There's a lot of censorship, so I'm not sure. Are we in war or are we in democracy? What the hell is this? Is this democracy?